All right, we are back with another highlight video breakdown. This is of training camp practiced day number 9 for the San Francisco 49ers. No Brock Purdy practiced on this particular day. So we got a lot of Trey Lance, Brandon Allen, and Sam Darnold, and we are going to get into it all. This particular matchup, as you can see, this is one-on-one period with Isaiah Oliver and Juwan Jennings. Actually, Isaiah Oliver and Juwan Jennings, I was peeking over in between offensive line 1v1s. This was a pretty solid matchup back and forth that we were watching between Oliver and Juwan. Juwan makes a phenomenal over-the-shoulder catch. I mean, look at where his eyes are. He is able to pinpoint it, but it's on the outside upfield shoulder, and it just hits him in the hands and gives him an opportunity to catch it. I mean, phenomenal catch. Absolutely phenomenal catch. Juwan has been great throughout training camp. Another wide receiver who's been great throughout training camp, Danny Gray. He had a rough start to training camp to the point where I was concerned about where he was going to be at the end. But man, Danny Gray did a full 180 and has absolutely been a riser of training camp. He's done in a multitude of different ways. This is a pass from Trey Lance, as you can see. Great spot. I think this is, I can't get a good read on the number. I don't want to guess too much on who the DB is, but nonetheless, good route by Danny Gray. Good throw by Trey Lance. You got a moon ball here from Darnold to Ray McLeod. I watched this rep live as well. Ray has solidified his spot on the roster. Again, I just don't see a scenario why they would cut Ray at this point. Ray has continued to make plays just like this, and you can see this is on Deshaun Jameson, who's been a standout undrafted free agent rookie, who through 9 days of training camp has really made a case to make this roster. I really think it's Deshaun Jameson versus Ambry Thomas right now in regards to who's going to make the final cut. Ronnie Bell has proven to me that he can be an NFL wide receiver. The problem is that it's still a numbers game. I think what the 49ers are going to have to try to do is get him back onto the practice squad. I think that's his best shot because it's going to come down to how many tight ends they keep, how many wide receivers they keep. Great PBU here by actually looks like a drop if we slow it down. Hits Ray right in the hands, goes through his hands. He's almost able to regather it, but then great effort by Diamador Lenore to swipe at the ball to ensure that Ray can't regather. So Ray initially drops it, goes through his hands. You can see that almost regathers, but then Diamador Lenore says, "Not today. I'm not allowing you to get a second chance at that." So good coverage by Diamador Lenore. As I talked about earlier, Juwan Jennings and Isaiah Oliver were going back and forth. This one, obviously, you have the throw on an in-breaking route from Trey Lance, and you can see Isaiah Oliver getting his hand right. I mean, it's a good place ball. I like the ball placement. I think this is where you want to put it. You could make the case. You could put it a little bit higher, a little bit further outside based on the leverage of the cornerback, but still not a bad ball placement at all. And Isaiah Oliver does a really good job to get his hand in there. Isaiah Oliver is going to be your starting nickel this year. Him and Samuel Womack, I would imagine, will rotate at times, but Isaiah Oliver looks like your guy. Charvarius Ward hasn't practiced all that often throughout training camp, but here you got a really solid rep by Charvarius Ward and getting the PBU on George Kittle. As you can see, Trey Lance is trying to fit this into really tight coverage to George Kittle, and you can see Charvarius Ward is just sitting in the hip pocket and reaches out his long arms, gets the PBU, and a really quality pass breakup on Trey Lance pass intended for George Kittle. Here you got Darnold on the move, hitting Ray McLeod. I believe from my notes that on this particular one, I had a Javon Kinlaw sack. That's why he's moving out of the pocket. It wasn't. I don't believe it was a designed rollout. Again, just going from my recollection and memory of yesterday, I believe Javon Kinlaw definitely would have had a sack yesterday on Darnold. And I think that was this particular play. But again, he's still able to complete it to Ray McLeod and get it out there. This throw and catch by Danny Gray from Sam Darnold, it was a deep comeback route. I thought it was a phenomenal effort by Danny Gray to get off sticky coverage from Deshaun Jameson, come back to the football, and make a quality catch. Again, Danny Gray has been a guy that I really appreciated. I tweeted about this earlier. I called this practice the Willie Snead practice because Willie Snead had two of the best plays of all of training camp. And this is one of them, a beautiful deep ball from Brandon Allen. This was probably, not even probably, this was the best deep ball we saw all training camp from any of the quarterbacks. And as you can see, this is what you're looking for in regards to a deep ball pass. You can see Willie Snead has a step. I believe that's a linebacker in coverage. Looks like Demetrius Flanagan fouls, I believe. Can't tell if that's a 3 or a 4, but regardless, you have Willie with a step. He doesn't break stride. The ball is dropped directly in the bucket in between the safety and the cornerback. And because of the ball placement, it allows Willie to break 2 tackles and stay on his feet and walk in for a touchdown. That was a really, really nice one. This one was move the ball period. They started from the basically on the 1 yard line coming out of their end zone. Trey Lance hits Deebo Samuel over the middle. It looked like Deebo had beat Fred a little bit more convincingly. Fred had some body language like he didn't want to allow that catch to happen. And then right after that, Trey Lance comes back to Brandon Ayuk over the middle. Brandon Ayuk makes a quality catch right here on a in-breaking route with Diamador Lenore in coverage. Again, Trey Lance has definitely been more accurate this training camp. I still think he's still working on fine-tuning his accuracy. But compared to previous camps, this was definitely the best Trey Lance has looked. I mean, you can make the argument that Trey was cooking in his rookie camp, but I would say as a kind of pure pocket passer, Trey has definitely taken strides this training camp. This was the final play of practice. This was the best catch of all of training camp. This catch by Willie Snead was the difficulty here is through the absolute roof. This is a ball from Trey Lance from a decent ways out. Obviously, you can see how tight of coverage that Samuel Womack is. I mean, Samuel Womack is almost in perfect coverage. The critique of Samuel Womack is like, I think because the leverage in which Samuel Womack is playing and the rules of kind of what quarterbacks want to do when you have like one-on-one coverage, no safety help over the top, and you got a guy in your back hip pocket with his head facing the wide receiver, you typically will see a back shoulder in that scenario. But so I'm assuming that's why Samuel Womack turned to the inside, because if he turns to the outside, that thing might hit him right in the hands for an interception, but he turns away from the ball almost like he's anticipating a back shoulder. And because of that, Willie Snead is able to wrap around Womack and get his one arm on the ball and somehow bring this thing in. Just absolutely phenomenal, working his way through the defender. You can see he had to kind of wrap himself around Samuel Womack to be able to have a shot at this. I mean, I think this is just phenomenal by Willie Snead. And it's not a bad throw by Trey Lance by any stretch. I mean, he gave Willie Snead a shot at this and one-on-one coverage, and that's what you want to do. I mean, 50-50 balls are exactly that. I mean, it's that they're called 50-50 for a reason because both guys have a shot at it, and you just got to give your guy a chance. And that's exactly what Trey Lance did. And Willie Snead is able to bring it down for a phenomenal catch. He got mobbed by the entire offense. It was the last play of training camp yesterday. Absolutely phenomenal catch by Willie Snead. And again, it was kind of a lackluster day in the sense of energy. You can definitely sense that this team was prepared and ready for a day off. Um, but again, still 49ers out here still making plays regardless of that. Again, I call this the Willie Snead practice. Willie was balling, had a good day. Uh, Quarterbacks did okay. I really wanted to see one of the quarterbacks separate on this particular day. Um, they both again felt pretty even on the day, and I feel like that's kind of as an overall assessment of where the quarterbacks are. At least Sam Darnold and Trey Lance, who we know are battling for the quarterback 2 spot, and got first team reps. It just felt like I wanted to see more from both of those guys, a little bit more intensity and things like that. But again, overall, 49ers are in a pretty good spot based on how the quarterbacks have been performing overall. Trey Lance has proven the fact that he's able to be even considered on even with, I would say he's pretty even with Sam Darnold at this point. They both have uh, different positives to their games, but considering everything, the fact that Trey Lance is, I would consider pretty even with Sam Darnold is a really good consideration for Trey Lance. So we'll continue to see how it all plays out. But these were your highlights from yesterday's practice.